What's up guys, it's Drac, and I am way too ancient, given my centuries amongst you mortals, to be reviewing this, but I will do my best. This is the new NERF Junior line. This is the Junior Explorer. They're claiming that it's elite. It's got a lot of interesting features going for it, but the big one is that this is being labeled as NERF Easy Play. Now, as we flip it over, it becomes very clear that this is a multi-finger pullback. It's got a large, are they really? You can't be serious. Maybe this one is called this because it came from Canada. My friend Nerf Dad up there sent this one down to me, but they're calling this the Aimer. Not a sight, not a reticle, the Aimer. If I'm wrong, I am willing to admit that I'm wrong, but there's something about that that just feels off. Like to me, calling this an Aimer is like calling this a puller, but whatever. We've got the easy front load, and then, you know, what should be a grip designed for small hands. So we are not going to complain about the size of this grip on account of this was literally designed for children. Does it have an age on it? Does it have an age on it that isn't in French? 6 and up. So an interesting thing that just Hasbro does before we kind of get into this review, and we will get into this review, but I think that the origin story of this product is an interesting facet to its review, which is Hasbro is constantly trying to find a way to expand its age ranges for its popular branded products. And so if you're ever walking down the toy aisle and you see something and you think it's kind of weird, like, wow, I really didn't think that we needed Play-Doh for 30-year-olds or Monopoly for 5-year-olds. This is just a constant thing where somebody in a meeting will be sitting there and they'll be like, we've exhausted the market on blah, 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 so let's make it younger. And that's why we did the entire Nerf Nitro thing. Like, Nerf Nitro was born explicitly as like, we need a gateway drug, a way to get kids into Nerf blasting sooner and earlier so that they're brand loyal to our products and that they kind of continue on this Nerf-fed pathway. It's the same reason they've started doing lifestyle branding stuff and they're selling t-shirts. He said while wearing a branded blaster product t-shirt, but you get my point. The issue is that with Nerf blasters, it's very difficult for people whose motor functions haven't developed fully and have really small hands to do things like load magazines. Cognitively, it can be tricky for them to load the magazines appropriately into the mag wells, and things like ammo compatibility become really complicated. So if you've ever known somebody or been a part of a birthday party for young children or events like, say, the SENC, where you have people coming in that are kind of new, kind of fresh, and maybe bringing younger siblings, front loaders are the way to go. Something about front loading a dart is very easy, but then you run into an issue where particularly younger girls, I've found at SENC Wars, have a really hard time priming some of the even stock blasters. So theoretically, this line is designed to be ergonomically accessible to smaller children, I guess targeting ages 6 and up, which means that I imagine this will be lower power. It doesn't feel like that much of a lower power, but it also has an auto retract feature, which is good because it means that it's hard for you to get your hair or something caught in it. And then the trigger is really large, the grip is really small, and the aimer is monstrous. So completely independent of our review of this product from a performance basis, I think that it's cool because frankly, I really want more foam flingers in the hobby. And the best way to get more foam flingers in the hobby is to have blasters that are more accessible for them. I definitely am going to review the entirety of the Nerf Junior line, but when we're done reviewing the Nerf Junior line, all of them are going to go into a loaner bin for my SENC Wars, where when families show up and they have somebody that might be a little bit too wee to figure out one of our loaner, you know, Mark IIs or one of our loaner Strifes or something along that line, this is a mag-free way to play off the field that I think really fits into that kind of basement battle style. That was a lot of talking about kind of the pathway of product, but frankly, if you just wanted somebody to pull it out of the package, say the grip was small, and then give you an FPS reading, you would go to somebody who is less industry informed anyway. So if you're on my channel, thank you, by the way, for being here. Don't forget to subscribe and hit the bell and do all of the YouTube ad buzzword thingies that I'm supposed to ask you to do, but let's get into the review. So plastic-free packaging, kudos to Hasbro there. Comes with 8 darts, which is enough to load it twice, and I can already tell you that I'm detecting some of the ease things in here. That's interesting. This one's AR. This actually has nothing to do with the product itself. The air restrictor spring that allows the Smart AR to work is too powerful for the low friction barrel here. So that one's never going to fire quite right just because it's being pushed out. Hopefully mine's a lemon. That's not intentional, but that's the kind of thing that in product just drives me up a wall. However, I will remove the pinky from my hand And that's, I primed it earlier. That's what you call a negligent discharge, children. But anyway, we've got the Explorer logo here, the paint here, no paint on the other side, but that makes sense given that these products are not cheap, but certainly not expensive. They're not flagship level products. So $13, not a terrible price for this product, but it's got a lot of color. It definitely looks good. This is clearly some sort of like foregrip, which if you imagine having tiny hands and wanting to have both of them on here, I think that that's quite reasonable. The quite large reticle is actually nice. I wish that there were bigger aimers on a lot of Hasbro's products. Very frequently, they'll be so small that they don't really produce a sight picture where it's gonna drive me absolutely crazy throughout the review. Overall, given the target that this is designed for and explicitly being marketed towards, I think that it's solid. It's especially since you could get 2 adult fingers, which means you could fit 3 child fingers in there very easily. I think that this is a really good like grip it, pull, and fire situation. I will admit the fact that the bottom barrel was just not functional there, because it's not, I really want to like this product. I really, really do. But it's inexcusable to have something that fires 4 darts and doesn't fire all 4 of them. Hopefully my model is just effective, but in the same vein that like I want to celebrate this as being a really good way to introduce kids to foam flinging and blasting and the brand, what a terrible way to introduce them to foam flinging and blasting and the brand, to give them something that literally is 75% functional. That said, let's take it outside. I'm very curious to find out what its FPS readings are, because theoretically being used by smaller foam flingers, there would be terrific merit to it firing under the elite standard. So let's take it outside. Let's see what it's got under the hood. Alrighty guys, so we're out here with the NERF Explorer. I forgot it retracts. It's been 10 minutes and I forgot it retracts. That's a nice feature. All right, let's put a few over the chronograph C. 44, 29, 47, and then that base one, not so good. Can we get it to maybe a tighter dart fit? 43. So I think, all oddities aside, I think that we can safely say that this is designed to shoot somewhere between 35 and 50 FPS, which is certainly a step down, and in my opinion, a step down in the correct direction for a product like this, because anybody who's playing in this age category should hopefully be playing mostly with people within their age category, and we don't need to be, 88 FPSing our kindergarten classmates with rival blasters. And especially like, a level playing field is really a lot of fun when it comes to blaster battles. It's no fun taking a Nexus up against a Pathfinder either. So in that spirit, I think that we'll reduce the range for our Elite Junior reviews to about 15 feet here and just see, well, there we go. Hey, I was about to say they are still elite darts, but it's good to see that when you reduce the range, I think that you could certainly hit a target. It's unreasonable to assume that people would be using these exclusively for plinking. I think that battles will ensue in Elite Junior land, and if they do, the Explorer is not a bad choice, I feel. I think that it's ergonomically where you'd want to be. I think that the 4 shots on board is both intuitive and easy to understand without having to reload explicitly every shot. I don't know, again, like I've supplied a lot of loaner blasters to children over the years, and one thing that's interesting is certain revolvers, kids will load it, fire once, and then they'll run down the dart and then feel like they need to load it again, even though it has maybe 5 more in the cylinder ready to go. But overall, I think that the Explorer is a big hit. I'm a big fan of the entire thing, and I hope that it does exactly what it's supposed to do in growing our hobby and getting more people invested in high FPS foam flinging fun. Maybe 10 years down the line, right? But thanks so much for watching, guys. Hopefully you enjoyed this review. Much love, blast on, Drac out.